The story of the Yatsuge, the Blood Monks, and the Triads. The Yatsuge, the Blood Monks, and the Triads are three rival Chinese gangs which all operate within a part of Beijing reminiscent of Kowloon Walled City in Hong Kong. Each have their headquarters on different rooftops on the opposite sides of the slum area. The gangs have been feuding for generations. All of the gangs use katanas, machetes, and other such close-quarter weapons, and the lightning-fast reflexes of the members of the gangs gives them a chance even against firearms. Living in these slums between the three gangs is quite dangerous, as sometimes when a skirmish on the rooftops occurs, some people on the street down below suddenly have a severed head fall on them. Blood dripping on the street all the way from the top. All of this is, as you can imagine, quite disturbing. But the worst is when a fighter falls off into the street as their weapon of choice and themselves now become a lethal falling object that will hit you straight on the head, killing you instantly. You don't want to be out there. The skirmishes happen every week or so, and if you know when they will be, better stay inside for your own good. Most of the people that live here didn't really have anywhere to go, and the housing was quite cheap and not that horrible, except in the size of the housing. Otherwise, it's okay. You just need to watch out for flying body parts and weapons every 6 days or so. The leaders of the gangs are Qing, the leader of the Yatsuge, Tenzin, the leader of the Blood Monks, and Jingfei, the leader of the Triads. The Yatsuge are mostly considered to be a band of thugs that will do anything to eliminate the other two, while the Blood Monks are highly patriotic, and the Triads are somewhere in between. They have a sense for honor, and glory is their main motivator. Today was one of those days on which it seemed like a skirmish was unavoidable. It was going to be a big one. Members of all three gangs gathered on opposing roofs and stared each other down as somebody unknown to any of the gangs appeared on the roof. Since it's a rare sight for anyone that the gangs don't know comes to the roof, members from all three gangs come up to the person with katanas raised and ask, "Who are you, and what do you want?" The strange man asked to see the leaders of all of the gangs in a coffee shop at the ground level of the slums, and to come with none of their members. The leaders agreed and went down to the coffee shop. They sat down and the man introduced himself. "I am John Snowden. I work for the CIA and have a proposal to any of the gangs here willing to execute what we have planned." Qing eagerly asked, "So what is it you need the Yatsuge to do?" Jingfei and Tenzin were just observing what the CIA operative was going to say. "The American government has obtained certain information on how the Chinese nuclear arsenal operates and wants skilled operatives to infiltrate the facility and take out the controls to the nuclear missiles. If you pull it off, you will be extremely well paid," said John. "You have the full support of the Yatsuge, Mr. CIA," said Qing. To this, Tenzin bursted out in rage. "You traitorous scum! How dare you agree to such a thing, betraying your own country for a measly sum of wealth? With the equipment I can buy with that wealth, I will easily crush all of your little monks," responded Qing. "I will show you right now how to crush a puny little pest like you!" Tenzin was about to thrust a knife through Qing's throat as Jingfei grabbed his hand and said, "Settle down, gentlemen. We will not settle this here." "Now, how much exactly is extremely well paid?" asked Jingfei. $20 billion, answered John. "All right, we will think about it," said Jingfei, and the leaders of the gangs left the coffee shop and went back to their respective headquarters. All of the leaders thought about the proposal, and the Yatsuge and the Triads accepted the deal and united in this joint operation. When Tenzin learned of this betrayal, all of the Blood Monk gang launched an assault on the other two gangs, and so began a bloodbath. Members of all gangs were getting pushed off the building, heads went flying, blood everywhere, and Tenzin was slicing through enemy gang members with a true rage as he was making his way towards Qing and Jinfei. After going through countless people, Tenzin came to the room with the two traitors and immediately started swinging. All of the leaders are skilled fighters, and they were holding off Tenzin until Jinfei sliced off a part of the skin on Tenzin's face. They started to push him backwards until he ran out of the room in which Qing and Jinfei were. They ran out after him, but as soon as he left the door, he disappeared. Seeing as their leader had been defeated, the rest of the blood monks surrendered. Many of them defected to the rival gangs after the disappearance of Tenzin. Now, with Tenzin gone, John and the other two made an attack plan on the main complex, and on the other 5 control points across China. The plan was, as the main complex was being attacked, the other groups would attack the supporting complexes too. Straightforward concept, but the game plans for infiltration were much more detailed. The gang members were flown to the locations needed, and the heist was about to start. 150 people was the size of the main group, and it was led by Qing and Jinfei. The other groups were the size of 50 people. They were armed with both guns and katanas, tear gassed, and most with body armor. Some preferred just going in lightweight, like the two leaders, as it made them much more agile. The assault began, and they knew that if they didn't do this fast, that they were going to get swarmed by the army and police. They stormed in, and the fight started. The other groups started their assault as well. The support groups, while taking heavy casualties, were able to disable and destroy the support complexes, while the fight was still going on in the main complex. Now, with only 50 men remaining, Qing and Jinfei entered the main control room, the most heavily guarded room in the building. Shots were flying everywhere. When unaware of the bullet coming behind him, Qing was shot through the head and killed. After all of the guards had been killed, only Jinfei and 5 members of the Yatsuge survived. The surviving members thought that it was a good idea now to kill Jinfei and claim the money for themselves. Jinfei quickly defended herself and killed the last 5 people who were left alive. Jinfei was now alone, and she was putting in the command codes to delete and destroy all of the information and code there. As she was about to finish, a katana slashed through her face and it slammed on the keyboard, destroying it. Tenzin had come back and sliced Jinfei in half, but he also unwillingly had started the command to destroy all of the information because his katana pressed the last button needed to commence it before destroying the keyboard. Now, Tenzin just stood there waiting for the armed forces to arrive and take him away, for he had failed his country. China was now without nuclear weapons, and the gangs succeeded in their mission. And that was the story of the Yatsuge, the Blood Monks, and the Triads.